Hello and welcome back to the Spotlight Games podcast for episode 175. I'm your host, Patrick. Today, there could be news to be discussed, but we are joined by special guest Phil Bothun, and we are both Immersive Sim sickos. You might be sitting there wondering, what's an Immersive Sim? We're going to talk about it. But let me welcome to the show my friend Phil. Phil, how you doing? Welcome to Spotlight Games.
I am doing great. This has been a fun thing. I feel like my first hey, could you join us in this Discord and have a fun time was from Mr. Eric the Uma. And that it was in Spotlight. It was kind of like, hey, come hang out here. So it's been a fun time going from guy in the self promo channel to hey, here I am. I'm on.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about, so folks that are in the chat that are in the Discord, that are listening to the Discord, they know Phil. But for people that just listen, just watch, they don't join the Discord for some reason. Who is Phil? Tell us about Phil, the kind of content you make, anything you want to tell us about you. And then we'll talk about games. We'll get to games.
Sure. I co-run 70%complete.com. It is a website. It is a podcast. I guess 2 podcasts. We have a YouTube channel. We got it all.
Yeah.
The flagship thing is the 70% Complete podcast. We recently rebranded. It used to be called Codex, and it was a casual lore podcast where we would kind of step through. I would step through all of my favorite properties, and Logan would tell me the latest unhinged shit that he experienced playing RuneScape.
Yeah.
And so now I know too much about RuneScape, and he knows about Fallout, I guess. So we rebranded to 70% Complete because the whole notion there, and you will see this if you go to the website and the YouTube, we never 100% something. We always get these grand ideas of what we're going to do next. And we get 70% of the way there. We're like, yeah, we did it. Here's episode 7 of this thing. And now let's move on. Let's do something else. And so that's what the show is. The topic is the tangent is our tagline. This most recent one we did was, we talked about the patch notes for the Slayer skill in old school RuneScape. And it was like an hour and a half long thing. It was nuts. And then for you, Patrick, we did Time Cop like 2 or 3 episodes ago. So we spent all together too much time watching Time Cop talking about it. But it was good.
What a
stuff.
flick.
Yeah. That's a goddamn movie. That is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we do that. I do video essays that are a lot more serious on the YouTube. Most recent one was about South of Midnight and my very conflicted feelings about South. I like that game, and also I really hate the combat in that game, and I get into it. But I got some stuff coming up. Avowed, Wolfenstein, other games that we are probably going to talk about today.
Probably. So you talked a little bit about South of Midnight. I think that's a great segue into getting to know you a little bit in terms of your gaming tastes. Talking about this year, 2025, I assume your game of the year so far is not South of Midnight, but what are some games that you played this year that you really like? What's a short list for vying for Phil's game of the year so far?
So I just put out an episode of Point to Point this morning, which is the daily show that I do.
Cool.
It's me driving from one point to another and trying to get to the point. That's the show. I don't have I have a top 10 list, right? Like I have these are the 10 to 15 games that I played this year. I don't have a top 3. I look at that and I cannot look at something and say, this is the one for me. Like last year it was Indica. Basically I played Indica. I was like, hell yeah, Indica, this is the game for me. But I've played a bunch of Blueprints, and you and I have talked extensively about
much about Blueprints.
I'm about halfway through the second act of Expedition 33.
Cool.
And it's a good game, but it's not hitting me in that top 3 slot.
Sure.
I don't know. I really don't have a good angle. The one game that I'm kind of really vibing with that I've really enjoyed recently is Avowed. I finally finished Avowed, which is mostly, and I think Coal Mines, maybe this is for you, Tainted Grail, the Fall of Avalon or whatever, the King Arthur themed clone. I'm really, really thinking that that's going to be in that top 3, but we'll see.
Okay.
Oblivion is very much that is a Phil game for sure.
Yeah, I need to get back to Avowed. I played like 7-ish hours of Avowed. I can't remember if I think I got past the first like big-ish area,
Hmm.
and I really loved my time with it. It just was one of those things where like more things started coming out, life happened, and I haven't gone back to it. And I really need to because I liked that, and it just keeps every time I play a game, it just keeps kind of dropping down my list, and it shouldn't be. There are things that keep dropping down my list that should be. Like I recently had a moment of realism with myself. I was like,
Uh-oh.
you know what? South of Midnight is just not as good as I want it to be. There are things about South of Midnight that are unbelievably good.
Yep.
It just as a whole game, I got to take the emotion out of it because it was like sitting at number 3 for a while for me, and now
Really?
it's at maybe like 10. It dropped pretty
Okay.
considerably because I had this. I woke up one morning and the fog had settled, and I was like, I can't keep lying to myself
No,
about South
man.
of Midnight.
You got to release. Did you finish South of Midnight?
I did,
Okay.
and so to your point about the combat, I flipped the accessibility setting to let me skip combat whenever I wanted,
Yep.
and so I played maybe 15% of that game's combat, and then all the boss fights because the boss fights I think are very good, but those arenas, oof, tough, very very tough.
No. I did the same thing. I saw I think Eric actually hit me up with that you could actually skip it, and I skipped it around. Must have been chapter 7, chapter 8, and it was the best thing I ever did. I love that game 10 times more once I started doing that. I wish that it would just outright skip it instead of having to hit the back button every time. But
well, that's the thing is not to make this a South of Midnight podcast, but I'm embracing the tangent as the topic. I love that tagline. I heard about the accessibility feature from the jump. So I turned it on. I did the first like 2 combat encounters, and I was like, this is happening too much and it's not fun enough. I'm going to turn it on now. So much of my positive opinion of that game is because virtually my entire experience, I got to skip the combat whenever I wanted. So I really didn't have a lot of slog in that game. But then it's like, I hear so many people talking about it, and it's not that I skipped every single combat encounter, but the more I thought about it, I was like, I skipped like a third of that video game. I can't necessarily judge it only on the 2/3 that I really, really loved when there's a whole third of it that is just not good. But I really hope that we get a South of Midnight too, because I think they are cooking with the vibe. As Coal Mines in the chat says, the vibes are top 3, but as a game, not great.
So
100%
agreed.
There's something there. One more Ask Phil Anything question. APA, I'm calling it. You name dropped a couple things in that. It sounds like maybe Fallout is potentially an all-time situation for Phil. What are some all-time Phil games? If you don't have to say what's the best game ever made, but if you have a strong opinion, now would be the time to share.
Have you heard of this little video game called Prey 2017?
Yeah, I sure have.
I would say I'm really coming off of I did a deep dive of like my entire gaming history when I had an incredibly long drive for work a couple weeks ago. And just kind of digging back into the history of Phil. And some games came up. Oblivion was one of them. That was just like this formative experience. Like Mass Effect 2, Mass Effect 3, huge for me. Obviously Pokemon Red, Blue.
Well, sure.
That's, obviously.
We were all children.
Yeah, exactly. We were all there. But the real thing that like has sat with me and is like part of the reason we're even having this conversation that we're about to have is the video game Prey 2017. Everything about that game is my favorite thing. It's perhaps not the best immersive sim I have ever played.
Sure.
Questionably. It might also not be the best video game I've ever played, but it is the one that when I think about video games and the potential that games have to tell good stories and like mix that with really good gameplay that's smart and interesting, like Prey 2017 is the game I think of.
Oh, I'm so excited for this conversation.
This artwork right here is from Talos 1.
I wouldn't have noticed until you pointed it out. That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I'll save my Prey backstory for when we get to the topic.
Okay.
But we do have a lot of video game stuff to talk about because this is the Spotlight Games podcast where each week we spotlight the latest and the greatest in the world of video games. You can get it by subscribing to our YouTube channel at Spotlight Games Pod or by searching for Spotlight Games in your favorite podcast app. And hey, you can be on the show by tuning in as we record live every Tuesday right here at twitch.tv/Spotlight Games Pod at 8 p.m. Eastern. Just like, let's say hi to the chat. We got Eula, we got Heroic Headgear, we got Gianni with the tier 1 sub for 8 months, the homie Gianni, we got Coal Mines. We also have our sweet cognitive clips. Be like them. Have your Twitch notifications on so that you're notified when we go live. We got High Score Weekly. I'm not going to forget High Score Weekly. And oh my goodness, the timing couldn't have been better. The homie Jake twitching rating with a party of 23. You're here just at the right time. We're about to wrap up some housekeeping and get into that good conversation. We got Control, we got Caleb, we got JT himself, we got Sierra Shard. Thanks for being here, y'all. Jay Twitchin, another member of Drop In, Drop Out, aka Dido. We got some fun Dido things going on this week. Later this week on Thursday, Jake, Kayla, and Cayman, I believe, are going to be talking about what are the best games with non-traditional controls. We got our Wii Fit boards. We got our Wii controllers. We have more than just the Wii. We have light guns. We have all sorts of things that we're going to be talking about. That's going to be over on twitch.tv/Drop In, Drop Out Pod this Thursday around 8 p.m. Eastern time. And I think that might be all for me to plug this week. Oh yeah, JK Games just finished their video game book club for Tears of the Kingdom. So if you love Tears of the Kingdom, a game we might dabble talking about today, which might surprise some people, go over to their feed, check it out. They're going to do another game next week, Tiny Bookshop, before they jump into their next bigger game. So check out JK Games Podcast. They're doing a lot of fun stuff over there, and they are part of the Drop In, Drop Out umbrella. dropindropoutpod.com. All of our shows, all of our Discords, the one. Go join it. Be like Phil. Have some fun. Phil, we do start every podcast here with what we're playing, and I think we can keep this one a bit on the shorter side since we have a beefy immersive sim topic. But Phil, if I may, we were just hearing a lot about the games that you enjoy, whether this year or last year. We got a lot of Phil game stories. Would you mind if I started with what I've been playing, Phil?
It's your show. Go right ahead.
It is my show, technically. However, typically I have the guests talk about what they've been playing first, but I'm just itching to talk about Mafia: The Old Country, Phil.
Yes, please.
This game, oh my God. This game is, Phil, I am so jazzed about Mafia: The Old Country. Let me start by saying this game is getting a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? When someone really likes it and someone really doesn't. What's that word? You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
People don't agree with how this game is either good. It's divisive. It's a very divisive game, Phil. Thank you. The word was just out of reach.
It's my job.
It's getting 8s from places. It's getting 9s. Polarizing.
That's a better word.
That's it. It's very polarizing. It's getting 4s from places. Like, it's all over the place.
Ooh.
And so I was so excited to play this. And at first, I was disappointed and a little bit of like, man, I was really hoping that this would kind of put Mafia back on the map. Early 1900s Sicily is just not a place you get very much in video games or in media other than like The Godfather Part 2. So I was excited to like, oh, this seems like a cool place to go. And then the reviews started coming out and I was like, oh man, I was really hoping that it was going to really hit. But then I read them. I didn't just look at the number, as we all should do. And I was hearing things. I'm like, I think the people that are saying positive things are getting to me more than the people that are saying negative things. I didn't feel good over the weekend. And I was like, you know what? I'm laying in bed, got my TV right here behind me. Let's just pop on the PlayStation, see what's new. Oh yeah, Mafia: The Old Country. I go to it and I'm surprised to learn something that maybe everybody already knows. It's only $50, $49.99. I was like, oh, easy, buy, download. Something about those $20 between 50 and 70 just makes it so much easier to spend. And so I buy it and I played like 5 hours on Saturday.
Really?
It just immediately pulled me in. And there are issues with this game that I will talk about. But first, I want to talk about how fucking gorgeous this game is. I was on a walk with my wife yesterday or the day before, and I don't often just like tell her about the games I'm playing, partially because sometimes she'll pop in the podcast, but also I play so many of them. It's like I would only be talking at her about the games I play if I tell her about every game I play.
Yep.
And I was like, I am playing this new game. She's like, oh, what is it? I said, Mafia the Old Country. She's like, huh, that doesn't sound like, Mafia is not like a thing that I'm always drawn to. Like someone in the chat, Coal Mine said, I've never had any interest in any Mafia properties. And then somebody else said, the chat's moving, I can't find it. Someone else said that they're fatigued. Oh, Control. They're fatigued with Mafia and gang stuff. Yeah. And she's like, yeah, I'm not like huge on Mafia stuff, but there's just something about this game pulled me in. And the opening is very strong. I think that's part of it. So the game, you start like you're a miner in like late 1800s, early 1900s Sicily, a sulfur mine. And, one thing leads to another, conflict begins. And then it opens up and you start actually getting to ride around Sicily on a horse. And like the vistas in this game are like a borderline Death Stranding 2 level of gorgeous. Like,
all right.
I was telling Rose that it was like, I feel like I'm on vacation in this game. Like it is so faithfully Italy, and it looks so much like the countryside of Italy pre-industry that I'm like, I just love driving around and riding around into this game, just looking at it. It's so pretty. And something else that I'm really vibing with is that it is a very linear experience. That might not work for some people, but this game, it presents itself as an open world game, but it's not an open world game. There's a mode called Explore where you can go into the open world and do whatever you want. But if you're playing the game, it very much is like you're going in this part of the map, you're doing this thing. You can't really, if you start to go out of it, it gives you the 15-second countdown that you're going to fail the mission. And I really like that. Like, I feel like so many games are just so big these days. I think of Assassin's Creed. I think of Starfield, like anything Bethesda. They're just so big. I'm just really liking an 8-hour experience. I'm already like 90% done with the game. I might be able to finish it tonight. Having just a great time. And like I said, there are some things, like there are some weird design decisions. Some of the stealth leaves a little bit to be desired. They put so much stock into certain things of realism. Like you're driving these really, really old cars, and when you stop in reverse, like you have to wait for him to put it in the right gear, which is like fun. But then there's
that.
I know, it's like there's little things like that that I'm like, I really like this. But then they have these, very convenient giant trunks that you can dump bodies into whenever you're doing a stealth section.
Sure.
And you dump a body into it, and then you kill somebody, or you knock somebody else out. You bring it, you open it up. That body has disappeared. Now it's an empty trunk for you. So there's like little things like that where like they just, the immersion breaks, but it's not enough for me to care. Like I am having such a good time playing this game. It's telling a great story. Little hokey at times. They're doing things with the story that I see coming from a mile away every now and then.
Yeah.
But I don't care. I love Enzo, the protagonist. I want him to succeed. I want him to find love. I want him to succeed in the Sicilian Mafia under Don Tarisi. But I fully recommend this game to anybody that thinks that they might like Mafia the Old Country. But if you think you're not gonna, you're probably not gonna. Because
that didn't sound good to you.
Right. Exactly. It's very much like it's a simple game, but it looks really nice. It relies a little bit too much on knife play. You're getting to duels all the time in this game.
I have seen the side-by-side knife duels. Is it fun? How are the knife duels?
They're not fun. I don't yearn for an accessibility feature to let me skip them.
Okay.
But I do think there's about 30% more than there needs to be.
Sure.
I'm in like chapter 11 of 14, and I get into a knife fight. And I'm like, really? Another knife fight?
Another knife fight?
The 7th knife fight that I've gotten in this game. But yeah, and then Johnny in the chat, the VA for Don Tarisi steals the show. Some of the performances in this game, if they don't get buzz at Jeff Keighley's The Game Awards, I will be very disappointed. And Don Tarisi is the guy that deserves attention for this game. Is Mafia something that you might get into, Phil?
So I feel like I have a memory of renting a Mafia game ages ago.
Yeah.
And I haven't paid much attention to the Old Country. I have always thought about getting Mafia 3 though. Something about like
Sure.
the 60s and like I guess the early 70s, maybe Vietnam
Yeah.
War vet coming back. Like that seems like my kind of story. You are kind of selling me on this though. Like
It's good, man.
I do like the linear story. Like as much as I'm a sucker for like a Starfield or something like that, like being able to have like a good 15 to 20 hour experience that's just one and done like that,
Yeah.
that sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, and it's the kind of thing where like this I was talking about this explore mode that they have where they really don't there's like so far I've played the game for probably 8 hours because I play games a little slowly. There have probably been 2 times in that experience where I could really go anywhere in the map. But it was like you should drive to
Oh,
this area. But and so I do that, but then I'll go off the beaten path a little bit to go, take a photograph here as a collectible, or I might go pick up this rosary bead as another collectible. But for the most part, because the game has kind of trained me to go from A to B, I just go from A to B there. But I'm having such a good time doing it. I think when I'm done, I am going to jump into explore mode and just see, does that keep me around? Do I want to go check all the boxes? Or is it because I foresee that this is going to have a pretty finale or a pretty final ending. It doesn't seem
there's
like
no return to free roam mode.
but I mean, maybe, but it seems like in terms of like story and stuff, I don't know that it's going to necessarily yearn for the old country too. I could be wrong. But yeah, and typically, especially these days, like with us on the content grind, going back to a game after it's been completed, very rare, almost never anymore. But I feel kind of compelled if I can finish it in enough time before later this month when we get Metal Gear Solid Delta. I think I might be sticking around on the old country a little bit.
Interesting.
Also, I do think you should check out 3. It's on sale a good bit. That game I think has a lot more issues than the old country, but also that is a proper open world game. So there's just more issues with that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gianni in the chat, what throws me off is the emphasis on linearity, but the amount of collectibles screams open world. I'm curious what the end game looks like. That's a very good point. There's so many times that there's a ton of collectibles locked behind missions where like you'll hover over it and it'll say, you can collect this during mission X. But then there are so many that it seems like I could never get to unless I go into explore mode. So that's a good point, Johnny. I do wonder if something about the end of the game kind of pushes you to want to explore more of like whether you're in charge, who knows? I don't know. But like, I wonder if that's part of it, is that they kind of expect you to do that stuff in the end game. I don't know.
What are you collecting? Like besides rosary beads, is it functional stuff or is it just tchotchkes?
So there's 2 things that are functional, or maybe 3 that are functional. The functional ones, so it has the system in the game that because you're Catholic, it's early 1900s
Good lead.
Italy.
Okay.
So you got the rosary beads and you have like other religious stuff that you can pick up, and those things give you certain stat changes. Maybe you can loot faster. Maybe you can get some health when you take down an enemy. Like those kinds of things. Like
both of those are incredibly Catholic. That makes a lot of sense.
Exactly. And then there's one, I don't remember what they're called. It's another religious thing. And you can trade that in for currency.
Okay.
So that is basically just finding a thing to get more currency. But and then there's a couple other things that are just collectibles. Like there's a camera in the game as part of a story beat, and then you get that and you can use it to like take pictures. Okay. It's like kind of like Horizon, where like you go to a specific point on the map, point the camera at a thing to take a picture, and then that's it.
Okay.
I would assume
you're not like finding a gold-plated butterfly knife anywhere or anything.
No. There are some like there's one, it's like they call it a mysterious fox. I don't know if it means anything, but it's this big, like, I don't know, 2-foot tall statue. Those are hidden and those aren't on the map. So those are things that you just have to go find in the open world, which, so you'll be in the middle of a mission and you'll see this, like, you know how like a collectible has that like sheen on it?
Yep.
You go like up in the corner on the second floor is like, oh, there's a fox. So, it has some of those things in it, but if there is a purpose for that one, I have not figured it out yet. That one might just be a collectible.
Okay.
But I will say as a kind of a final thought for the Caymans out there, who's not with us today, for the platinum trophy hunters. Because of the way this game does collectibles and they're like stuck behind this other mode, it might not be a very fun game to 100%. Not that you would ever do that, Phil. Maybe you'd 70% it. But just a thing to like, if you're a completionist, I would maybe do a little digging before spending $50 on the old country, because it does seem like some of that might be annoying for a completionist.
Okay. So someday we will have to have a chat about
Yes.
trophy hunting and what you get out of that, because it is not for your boy.
Yeah, I would love that. We should do that with Cayman too, because he is a completionist diehard. He loves 100%ing a game.
Oh yeah,
specifically for the platinum trophy.
Absolutely, man.
Phil, what have you been playing?
I put a big old list in here, and I will rattle off some of these because there's really only one or two things in here that I want to spend a ton of time talking about. But I've been playing Expedition 33, like I mentioned. I think I'm slowing down on it. Sorry, Cog.
Oh no.
I just need to I'm not a turn-based battle person, turns out, and I thought that the French vibes would be enough to kind of bring me through, and I just don't know.
Not for you.
Yeah, it's just not for me, which is a real bummer, because I think the story is interesting and I like what I'm looking at, but I don't know. It's just not working for me in a way that I really want to. Speaking of not working for me, I've been playing Atomic Heart.
Yeah.
I saw the Summer Game Fest thing, and I was like, there's a lot of money behind this. What's going on here? Why is there so much money behind this?
Right.
And it's kind of been something that it's been swirling around in my head. I am a huge like BioShock sicko. I love me some BioShock. I did my college thesis about BioShock.
Amazing.
So it's like in the bones, and Atomic Heart ain't it. And that's I've been doing a playthrough of it. I think I'm maybe done. I might have one episode left in me.
Okay.
But I am writing a very long video about Atomic Heart and BioShock, so stay tuned.
They did a really good job in their marketing to make us think it might be BioShock.
Yep.
Because I believed it.
Yeah, I sure did too. And I've been reading some interviews with the game director and the writer and everything, and they sure tiptoe their way around of saying, this is not BioShock, but for SEO purposes, I am going to drop a BioShock as a reference. Yeah. So, it's also, it's giving a lot of, it's doing that thing where you see how good it could have been, right? Yes. Like you see the parts where it could be BioShock. You see the parts, there's like a bunch of stuff in those videos that I'm playing through where it's like, oh, like they just stole this from Prey. Like this is just, there's a manifest of every single person in that game, like an employee database right next to them. And it tells you their status. And you expect that is going to do the Prey thing, and it sure as shit doesn't. It just doesn't do it. But yeah, I've been playing that. I have more thoughts on it, but I'm kind of working through them. The other two games that I kind of want to talk about, three games. I've been playing Merge Maestro. Have you been playing Merge Maestro?
No, I saw you said the exciting B word when describing this Balatro. And so I'm interested, but maybe not based on what you're going to say.
Well, so Balatro is also not a game for me. So, it is I don't even know how to explain it. It's like a 4x4 grid, like it's a merge game, right? Like you take the thing and you drag it on the other thing and you get a new thing. But it has boss monsters that you defeat and you can attack and do stuff with. And then after it's a wave-based thing. So you do damage whenever you drop a card onto the playfield, and it does damage or it does an effect to the monsters that are attacking you. And then at the end of that wave, you get the Balatro, pick 3. Like, do you want to change your level 1 thing to be this? Do you want to change your level 5 thing to be this? And then at the end of wave 5 and the end of wave 10, you get actual perks. So it's a randomized build crafting game that's just available on mobile. I've been playing it for about a day or two now, and I think I might be done with it. But it's really good. It's one of those things where I'm playing it and you catch yourself when you're like, I've been playing this game on my phone for like 45 minutes, and that makes me feel away. So I think I'm done with it. It's been a good commute game, but The matches are a little bit longer than I want them to be, so I can't get it done on my 30-minute commute. So it means that I have to like carry it over to the it's a bad scene, but it's really cool. Like it's and the first one of those games that has really jumped out to me as something that is interesting and fun. I have not played Ball Pit or whatever the Buckshot Roulette is, or like any of those ones.
Gianni is trying to spearhead a term. It's a merge like, which I do like.
Okay.
I do like merge like.
Okay. I like merge like
as a consideration.
Is that a Bejeweled? Is Bejeweled a merge game?
Bejeweled, I think, would be considered a merge like.
Okay.
And they're the ones that kind of almost like teeter on the edge of the genre. Like, would Grindstone be considered a merge like? Did you ever play Grindstone?
Yeah. I feel like Grindstone that feels right to me.
But maybe like an adjacent. It's not because you're not totally, but like you are doing the thing where you're trying to like.
Yeah, you're like making
things.
That's shoot. What's the one where it's a little frog in the middle and he shoots a ball?
Oh,
that's also very similar.
I just searched merge like. That's not what I'm trying to search. I'm trying to search Grindstone.
Don't get ahead of the hype.
Oh wait, it's not called Grindstone, but you knew what I was talking about. What is that game called?
I thought that was called Grindstone.
It is called Grindstone. It just when I searched it brought me to a grindstone in Minecraft.
Oh, like literally a grindstone.
And so I thought maybe that, but bad SEO for Grindstone, the video game.
Yeah,
I guess
that's not great.
Not great.
It's like threes, but what if the threes cards?
Yes.
Is what cool. Merch Maestro is. It's good. You check it out. It's free actually. It's free on iOS.
Oh, nice.
So check it out. It's like $1.99 for the unlock, but I have not reached the unlock, so who knows?
Sure. They know what they're doing. $1.99. What an easy thing to swipe.
Yeah.
On. God damn
it. Yep. Of the last two games, Artiste Impact. Have you seen anything about this?
I have not heard of this game until right now.
It's incredible. When I was talking about how I am not a turn-based combat person, I might be a turn-based combat for this.
So you were lying.
I was lying a little bit. I haven't got very far in it, so there's still time. But it's a side-by-side Final Fantasy style, like old, like 7 and earlier, I think, turn-based combat game. But it's all like incredibly gorgeous pixel art.
Ooh, this is so pretty.
I
don't have any B-roll prep, but I'm just going to share a Google search.
Yeah, you just check that in there. It's gorgeous. The pixel art is incredible. It's like really nice to step through. And do you see the black and white screens here?
This one?
Yeah. So those are the cutscenes. They all look like comic book panels.
Cool.
It's nuts. And then the so
this is like what the gameplay looks like.
Yep, that's the gameplay. The gray and yellow screen right there. Yep, that is just walking through the environment. So you'll go to the edges of the environment, and it is like a really snappy, like immediately will change to the next panel. It's beautiful. And then there's the battles are in like 3D, like I guess 2.5D, like dioramas. So you'll be like doing attacks in there, and it's beautiful. It has a good like charming and funny sense of humor to it that is very light and air. Like it feels very like Saturday morning anime almost.
Sure.
It's good. I got code for it and just kind of played through about 40 or so minutes of it, and it was perfect. I love that game. I need to go back and play some more of it.
Yeah.
This is
got me on it.
Yeah, this is starting the top 3 of the year. And then the last one, and I think that this is maybe going to hit my like top 3, maybe number 2. We'll see. It's called Ambrosia Sky.
Okay.
And this is a I've been trying to find a way to describe it, and it is yes, Jake, you are correct. It is a Fantasian like unfortunately or fortunately, I guess. Ambrosia Sky, it's kind of like a power wash simulator almost. Like you play as a character who is going through these old settlements on the edge of Saturn. There's a whole story about how the humanity's dying out. It's really sad and bad. But you're using your chemical gun to get all these exofunguses away. And that doesn't seem like that big of a deal. You have to like go through it, and then you go through the level, you get a goal, and then the first level is just you got to run all the way back before the time runs out. But the second level, which is the end of the demo right now, you do all of that. You like do the slight puzzle of like dealing with the different fungus types. Like this one explodes, this one does electricity, and you clean them up. You collect the fruit for upgrades later, and then you get to the end of the level, and it's just in like you're revisiting a colony that you left 15 years ago. So you have a personal connection.
Sure.
And you have to collect a ambrosia sample, which is this like DNA of the people here that you can use to take it back to this fancy life extension project that's going on. And it's from an old dude that you knew. And it is like this really affecting moment of this character that you like. There's no voice acting. Like it's all just text.
Yeah.
And then you just sit there, and they do this like just this like really tender ritual of like saying goodbye to this person that you've met, that you haven't seen in 15 years.
Yeah.
And it was like this weird emotional moment in a game that I was just like, oh, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to power wash simulator and have a good time. And then I'm just like, shit. I think this one
is that character Gerald Parker.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I can't play this game.
Oh no. Why is
because
that?
Gerald Parker was the name of my theater teacher in high school.
Oh, well,
he's fine guy.
He's
but
dead.
I will only ever think of my theater teacher from high school when I play this game.
That's fair.
Because that was his name, or is his name, unless he's dead. I don't think
he might be dead.
But if Cognitive
in the game,
Clips
he
is still, this is not good. If Cognitive Clips is still in the chat, IGN describes this game as a combo of Power Wash Simulator and Metroid Prime.
Interesting.
So
I'm curious with the Metroid Prime part.
Yeah, based on I was waiting for what you were saying to see what that, but nothing that you said sounded Metroid Prime at all. So maybe that's a post demo situation.
Maybe. I mean, you like bring stuff back to upgrade your gun, but it's not like, I don't think you're getting like missile tanks. You have a grappling hook. That's fun. Your spray gun has a pew pew shoot mode, and then it also has it does the Dead Space line gun thing where you can kind of just spray some chemical in vertical or horizontal alignment. But I don't know what is Metroid Prime about this game.
They have like a slug quote in big bold letters that says, "My goal was simple: find out what happened to Gerald Parker." I was like, that's just immediate immersion breaking for me. But that's my own baggage. No, I do want to play the demo. It does sound pretty cool.
It's neat.
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, any final thoughts on other games you've been playing before we jump into the topic of the show?
No, not really. You should go play Camille and Laura. It's
Camille
a cute game.
Okay.
But otherwise, it looks like it's made out of crayon drawings, and that's on purpose. It's cute.
Ambrosia Sky, was that the name of it? Cog asked in the chat. Ambrosia Sky. There you go.
Ambrosia Sky.
Cool. And he also told us to play And Roger and Cry. It is on my list to play.
It's on my list,
especially because it's so short. Phil, at the beginning of the podcast, we said we're going to be talking about the genre of video games called immersive simulation, and specifically, we want to get to a point where we can make a definitive list of the best immersive sim, or as we might start using shorthand, MSim games in this podcast. But I think in order to do that, we have to ask the question, what is an immersive sim? I pulled the car over to wikipedia.org.
Thank you.
For immersive sim. They describe an immersive simulation as a video game genre that emphasizes player choice. You can't stop there because that could be any game.
That's literally everything these days.
However, its core defining trait is the use of simulated systems that respond to a variety of player actions, which combined with a comparatively broad array of player abilities, allow the game to support varied and creative solutions to problems, as well as, in blue text, emergent gameplay. I think that's the word, the phrase we're going to be coming to a lot in this discussion, as emergent gameplay beyond what has been explicitly designed by the developer. They go on to say that the definition is not to be confused with game systems which allow player choice in a confined sense, or systems which allow players to easily escape consequences of their choices. So, Phil, saying that, how would you describe an immersive sim for you? Because when you go on the internet, when I just go to Google and say, what are the best immersive sim games to play? Some of the games that people claim are immersive sims are wild. So that's going to be part 2 of this discussion before part 3, which is ranking them and deciding what should be ranked. But for you, like, what is the key nut of an immersive sim?
So I think it's the consequences, right? Like it's the emergent gameplay for sure. Like being able to have a bunch of interdependent systems just kind of pop off and have something weird happen. I think that that's like the big thing for me. I think Dishonored is something that we'll probably talk about a lot in the future, but being able to have some sort of hidden tracking is also something that starts to feel like it makes the game feel more alive to me. Like the chaos meter in that, or the little sister stuff in BioShock. It's like when there are systems running in the background that make it feel like this world is more alive, because all of these different things interact in weird ways, and then, you know, strange things pop off.
Yeah, that's interesting. I agree with you, but I hadn't actively thought of that. Like for me, I feel like it's the emergent gameplay bit, but like emergent gameplay can happen in all sorts of genres. So that can't be the only deciding factor. But something that I want to ask you to also start this conversation is, can you play are there immersive sim games that aren't in first person? Because I think I've only played them in first person.
So I don't think so. I think that this is so. I guess maybe this will be a blind spot that will come up in this discussion, but I don't think either one of us have any games on the list of immersive sims that are from Looking Glass Studios, right? Like neither one of us have
Let's see,
played
what
the
are their names?
original like System Shock or the original Deus
Oh,
Ex.
how funny. So the original Deus Ex, no. Yesterday, I did play about 30 minutes of the original System Shock just to be able to say that on this show.
All
And
right.
boy, did I not have a good time.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that the idea that these are first person games, I think that Wikipedia has a quote a little bit further down from Warren Spector about how, like, by shifting the perspective to first person, it's something along the lines of like they just changed the face of video games. Warren Spector has a lot of big things to say about video games.
He does.
Um,
He
but
speaks a lot.
he does, and I think that the first person stuff is the thing in this game. Like that is the immersion part of it, is, you know, being in the world and then watching all of those systems and all of the pieces that they put together interact with you as a person.
I agree. However, I do think I have one game. So I put together a list of games that people would throw out there on the internet, like Breath of the Wild. There is a list that has Breath of the Wild in the top like 10 of immersive sim games. And like for a second, you think about it based on what the kind of outline of that Wikipedia article was saying. And like it does have like the systems side of it to some degree, and like giving the player choice, but there's no sort of consequence. There's no like that kind of thing. It's like a Dishonored or a BioShock, like you mentioned. But then for me, like I feel like there is a barrier between that first and third person part of it. But then I was thinking about a game, Metal Gear Solid 5. Have you played Metal Gear Solid 5?
So Metal Gear Solid 5 is the only one of them that I have played any amount of. But yes, I've played a couple of hours of it.
So in a couple of hours, you probably wouldn't have got to any of the systems that are now making me ask the question, is this an immersive sim? Because a lot of people were saying that Hitman would count. But that, I feel like Hitman really only has the emergent gameplay side. It doesn't really have, like within certain levels, there can be consequences for things that you do, but that's more of a to B consequence, as opposed to I'm making all of these different decisions that are overall impacting the world, as opposed to in Hitman, it's like, oh, I set a trap and so a guy's going to fall through it like that. Those are the kinds of consequences in Hitman. So I don't think Hitman counts, even though some people try to say Hitman does. But then Metal Gear Solid 5, I do wonder, because that does have a lot of kind of consequence throughout the game of where, but then I ask myself, is it just smart AI where in that game there are things like, if you're the example that most people use all the time is, if you're constantly doing like headshots, they're going to start wearing stronger helmets to prevent you from doing headshots. So there's like things
Oh,
like
that's
that
cool.
where, yeah, there's a lot of, and there's more than just that one example of things that like as you go into these bases throughout the game and try to take people to put in your own squad back at Mother Base or whatever it's called, they get smarter and they start to kind of fight back in ways and try to keep you from being able to achieve your goal in some ways. And so then, so yeah, what do you think about that? Do you think that counts, or is that too much on the kind of outskirts of everything else? And also it's third person.
Yeah. So I feel like the Hitman thing is an interesting pull. And Control is also mentioning Red Dead Redemption 2, which also feels like, so
I mean, that has a morality system in the
yeah.
background and a
Yeah, I would
wanted
almost,
system.
I would weirdly put those in just like simulation games. Like
Sure,
we're
sure.
like splitting hairs so much here at this point, but I almost wonder if those are like, they're simulating systems, right? And there's not this sense that you are affecting the global system to some scale. Like the chaos meter is something that jumps out to me. The ability to like the ability to change the environment around you with the glue gun in Prey, like
Sure.
that will persist as you go. The ability to use the recycler in Prey, like those grenades will change the environment in a way that is informative to the level geometry. And that is, you get a bad bounce, that's just systems interacting together, right? Like
Sure.
you use the gravity system to a specific way and that changes things. And I wonder if, like, it's to really push this, like Red Dead Redemption and even some of those changes in MGS, like those feel almost like Gran Turismo to me. Like that is
Oh,
the
sure.
power of physics and the power, like the AI stuff, the helmets. That's an interesting pull. I feel like that's the thing that's drawn me closest to saying that MGS5 is a
Yeah.
MSim, but yeah, I don't know. I hadn't really thought about that. I came here prepared to tell you in
Yeah.
very bold terms that Breath of the Wild is not an immersive sim, but
Right.
I did not think about MGS.
Yeah, because honestly, when the more we've talked about it, I almost feel like there's a stronger case for Tears of the Kingdom if we are going to say a Zelda game can be an immersive sim. But I don't think that it is. But because Tears of the Kingdom, with its new powers compared to Breath of the Wild, is there's just so much more implication in the rest of the world of the game with those powers and things that you can do. But yeah, I think definitively that those are not immersive sims.
Yeah.
A few other that people threw out there, Gone Home and Firewatch. A lot of people put those in like a walking sim category, which I
Yeah.
think I do too, because those don't really have any sort of systems, or it really is just, you're just experiencing the story in a first
Yeah.
person mode in a place that they are making very immersive, but not as a simulation with its system. So I think those are easy. The one on this list that makes me question it though is Alien Isolation. That was one that a lot of people threw out. Whereas a lot of the games on the list that we're going to talk about are not horror. I think Prey is the closest to horror of all the games that we're going to talk about. Whereas Alien Isolation is just a proper horror game. But
Yeah.
what do you think? What do you think about that one?
So I'm a scaredy cat.
Yeah.
I have played less than an hour of Alien Isolation. But from what I have heard of how that game works and how the logic behind how the alien works is not like a scripted thing most of the time. I mean, I'm kind of leaning that way because you can do stuff to impact the alien appearing, right? Like there are systems involved of making
Yeah.
the alien go away.
Yeah.
Like it kind of feels like I guess I would say it's kind of light based on what I
Sure.
have heard of that,
An
but
MSim Light.
yeah, MSim
Oh.
light.
I do think we lost Jake Twitchin. I think our third time saying MSim. He said we only had 3 strikes. So,
yeah,
Jake,
sorry.
it was nice to have you. Thanks for the
I'll see
raid,
you
but
later.
we understand. Kayla in the chat asks, have either of us played Enzoy? I don't know Enzoy.
Isn't that this? Is that a Sims joke?
Could be.
Is that that's the Sims competitor, right? The
Enzoy is a life simulation game where players step into the role of creators, shaping the world as they envision and witnessing the various stories that unfold.
Okay.
Yeah, the Jake says it's a Sims like.
Okay.
Is an insane realistic sim game, huh? Oh yeah, looking at the images, it's like super realistic. That's kind of scary.
I have not seen this one.
Scary. I'm scared. You can upload photos and 3D print anything.
That sounds terrifying.
Have we looked at the terms of service of that game company?
I bet they're not great.
I bet they're not great. Also, as a side thing, for anybody playing Pokemon Go, don't have your camera on in that game.
Just gonna have your camera on in Pokemon Go?
Yeah, have you not heard about this?
No.
So the company that does Pokemon Go, their name is escaping me right now. They have, yeah. So they, when you're catching Pokemon, you can have it to where it's like they're in your Niantic. Thank you, Jake Twitch. You can have it to where, like, the Raichu is in my room.
Oh yeah,
and it's AR, and it might have already happened, or there was talks that they were selling all of that data for like $7 billion. And they basically compiled like an entire world map just from people playing the game. So not good. Turn your cameras off. Okay, so I think we have a good understanding, or at least a better understanding, of the genre. So now I think we can, with those tools and with chat at our side, who is always on the right side of history, I think we can build the definitive MSim list. Jake's, it's in writing. He's really upset. But that's okay. That's okay. So Phil, I think what probably makes the most sense to start with is going through the games that we have played in the category. And I guess there's a couple ways we could do this. We could either just start ranking them as we put them on the table, or we could talk about all of them, put them on a list. I'm going to start. I meant to do this earlier and I just remembered. I'm going to throw them on a list in like Canva and share that so we can have a visual with the chat. What do you think makes the most sense? One at a time, or kind of talk through all of them and then build the list?
I feel like we should talk through them. We almost have these in chronological order, almost. So I feel like we just step through them. Cool. Because I have a look at this list, and we have almost 100% overlap. There's like 3 games in here that we don't have shared.
This is true. Okay. Well, why don't you start? What's one that you want to throw on the table?
I would like to talk about. Let's see here. Well, let's get this one out of the way because it doesn't look like you've played it. But have you heard of Shadow of Doubt?
I have not heard of Shadow of Doubt, or at least not at a quick glance.
So I feel like Shadows of Doubt is probably the front runner for like most recent indie one of these. It's also maybe the most like capital T technical of them. It is a procedurally generated world where you play the role of a detective, and you are finding clues, picking up cases as you go, and you are kind of navigating your way around a cyberpunk city, basically. And there are camera systems you have to deal with. There are, vision cones and detections and alarms and turrets and all this stuff that you can hack or kind of find clues for. And it's all procedural. So it is a very systems-based game. And it ends up like tracking how you are doing as you go through the game. So you will like finish your cases, and that will have a reputation system. And you will have reputations with like the police and all the different people. It's a fun one. I mostly throw it out there because if we are going to build the definitive list, this is probably number 10 or number 11. It is super cool, but it is also one of those games where it is procedural and therefore is really goddamn confusing sometimes.
Sure. When did this game come out?
I think it came out last year, maybe the year before. It's like pretty recent. I played through a little bit of it on stream, and I kind of had to bail because I was getting stumped pretty easy.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's a thinky game.
Sometimes a thinky game can be good, but sometimes a
Sometimes.
thinky game can be bad.
Yeah, it's definitely bad for watching sometimes. It is
true.
an infinite game of that kind of variety. Like it just continues to go forever.
Gotcha. Okay, so we're thinking if this is going to make the ranking, it's probably toward the bottom, you said.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Well, I think one that might spark some debate is just generally the BioShock franchise.
Yeah.
It's funny. Up until yesterday, when I really started kind of putting pen to paper about this topic, I've just always been under the impression that like everyone agrees BioShock and the whole franchise is an immersive sim. But then I started reading about it and I'm like, is it though?
Yeah.
What do you think? Because you've referenced it earlier with the kind of morality system of the Little Sisters.
Yep.
Which is a compelling, I think, evidence to say that it is. But I think the one thing that, for me, BioShock seems to lack is that emergent gameplay. And I think part of it is the time in which it came out, 2007, 6-ish?
Something like that, yeah.
A game of that style, super high budget, first-person action game. Adding emergent gameplay, I'm sure, was a pretty difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
Because especially with Infinite, I would say even less emergent gameplay in Infinite, because that they kind of go down the action route a lot more. But what do you think? I mean, it would feel silly not to include the BioShock games on the list.
Yeah, so I think if there is going to be a game on this list that simply gets grandfathered in because it is from the grand lineage of System Shock and Looking Glass, I think it's got to be BioShock. I mean, I will not fight you on removing BioShock Infinite from this list.
Sure. Okay.
I think that there is like the Little Sisters stuff sticks around in my head as like a proto version of this. We talked about this a little bit, but I have not played any Thief games. So sure. I know that around the same time Thief is coming out and you are able to shoot rope arrows everywhere and like have those emergent moments a lot more than you are in BioShock. And it is much more of an action game. Like I will definitely grant you that. I think,
but then there's like Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. People say is an immersive sim, and that's an action game, like full stop. Yeah. So I don't think that action necessarily means it's not, but I don't know. I'm happy to keep it on the list. I don't think we'll get in trouble for keeping it on the list.
Yeah, I think it sticks in there if only as the one game on this list that's like, all right, we kind of like you were figuring it out. You put one of these on console for the first time, like you get a pass a little bit.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned Thief, which is kind of one of the games that people say kind of helped start the genre. I've not played the original. High School Weekly in the Discord talked about playing the original back in the day and coming back to it recently, and it just does not hold up. I have, however, played the remake. Okay. And that game, not good.
So this is what I've heard. I think they mentioned this in the Discord too, that they went back and played the original Thief because the remake was awful. Yeah.
I don't remember it enough to be able to say whether it is or isn't an immersive sim, but I feel like it is.
I think it's like in the lineage, but I have not heard good things about it.
I feel like it probably even goes below Shadows of Doubt. Because that game very not good.
That's too bad.
Yeah, I played maybe like 5 or 6 hours of it, and I was like, "This is just so boring." Yeah.
Okay, that's enough to form an opinion.
For sure.
They are putting out a Thief VR pretty soon, which
they are
seems interesting.
Seems very interesting.
Full immersive sim.
Capital I immersive sim.
Yeah.
In that case. Sirius asked about that game. I wonder. I'm interested to see if that game does well. I don't partake in the virtual reality anymore, but and it wouldn't be the thing to get me in. But
no. I mean that's the problem with a lot of this stuff is that it needs to be the best thing of all time to get me in there.
So we're talking about BioShock. BioShock 2. We would say that one would count, do you think, or do we stop at Bioshock 1?
So I never played it.
Oh, you haven't played 2. So this is
No.
all on me. I mean, it is very similar to 2. I mean, to 1. It's just you're playing in the role of Big Daddy instead of role of human. Which, I mean, I guess it's probably a human in the suit, but
I mean, kind of. It's questionable.
Kind of, right. That is kind of a question, not the question. So then it's pretty similar to the first game. It's just the writing's not as good and that kind of thing. So I think we counted it. If we're counting 1, we're counting. Yeah, we're counting 2.
I'm all right with that.
But I do think, and we'll kind of start. I think we'll be able to get to in more depth on the games later. I think this will probably be more toward the bottom of the list.
Okay. Okay.
But we'll see where it lands later.
What about Patrick and Phil Darling, Deathloop?
Oh, I mean, this could have just been a Deathloop podcast, Phil.
I
put it in all caps
on that one. Yeah.
Is there an exclamation point or no exclamation point?
No exclamation point, but there are quotation marks around it.
That's right.
Because it's
I was like, there's a symbol of some kind in the title.
Yeah. Yep. I was just listening to this soundtrack today.
It's so good. What a sound. I have it on vinyl, and it's a great little soundtrack to listen to when you're cleaning the house.
That sounds all right.
It's good.
I write to the Deathloop soundtrack.
Ooh, sure. Man, so when you're with Deathloop, when you're like in the thick of it and that like jazzy, funky groove comes in. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, Deathloop's super strong. I think this is the game. I think, let's see, that game was 2021. I'm trying to remember because I played Prey very late. I can't remember if I played Prey before or after Deathloop. I think it was before.
Okay.
But I remember like Deathloop was like a religious experience for me. I love that game so much. And I always feel like it gets hate. And I mean, I on Drop In Drop Out, I tried to make the case for it being one of the best games in the last 10 years and or last 5 years, even more specifically. And I lost the chat bringing in Deathloop. And it always baffles me how people don't fuck with Deathloop, Phil.
Yep. I don't get it. I think so. The criticism that sticks around with me the most about Deathloop is that I guess allegedly it told you the answer too easily. I don't know. That's the only thing. Like once you started figuring out the pathway, it just didn't let you figure it out anymore. It said, here's the next step.
That's fair. That is a fair criticism.
I mean, I guess, but you could have put it together yourself anyways, like,
yeah. Here's what I'll say though. I think to counter that criticism, I think even though they do kind of tell you a good bit of where to go, they don't tell you everything, but the way that they map out the path to break the loop. Yeah. Even though they do tell you a lot of it, I think is such an achievement because there are just so many moving parts. And like from the jump, if you don't know anything, you technically can break the loop on your first session. You just would have to know what to do. But the part of it is learning, oh, this guy's here then, this guy's here then. I have to go do this in the morning for that to even show up in the afternoon or whatever. And their use of time is so good. And Jake does remind me, they showed us so much Deathloop leading up to the release of Deathloop. This was a lot of people had this where like it was in like 6 state of plays, 4 different conferences. Like it was just all over the place that people were like, okay, shut the fuck up about Deathloop already. But it still broke through for me. But that I do remember a lot of people had that issue too. Like it was kind of like a No Man's Sky thing. Except No Man's Sky came out and was dog shit at launch.
Yeah.
So then that's what that conversation was. Pulling the car over for a second. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I love Deathloop. Like it is up there as like one of the favorite Phil games of all time. I finished Deathloop on. It was the first game that I ever did Xbox cloud streaming on. Because I played it a bunch. My Xbox is downstairs where my living room is. And I was playing it a bunch and I had like 3 or 4 days off of work for some reason. But it was the surreptitious, I have 3 or 4 days off work, but maybe my wife doesn't know that I have 3 or 4 days off work. So I threw it on game streaming and, It was terrible. Game
Yeah.
streaming was bad back in 2022 or whatever. But I liked that game so much that I finished it like 15 frames a second, fucking
Wow.
buffering jelly smear all over the screen. Like
You played the whole thing that way.
not the whole thing,
Okay.
but the last loop, the like
Gotcha.
pivotal last loop.
Yeah.
I remember killing Juliana, being like having to lead her with the frame stutter, and it was a fantastic gaming moment.
That's funny.
Yeah,
I don't know that I could have stuck around for that.
It was great.
Personally, but
It was great.
I respect it.
I will also say Deathloop is a leader in the like accessibility space of like making that game better to play. I played it on baby mode, so like I was able to respawn in the game. So like instead of like you die and then it ends your loop, like you get a freebie. I think there's something. Oh, I was able to turn off online too. So like you're just playing PC Juliana instead of some absolute COD monster destroying you. And
it's funny. I played the vast majority of Deathloop offline as well. And every now and then I would turn it on to be like, oh, let me see it. And then they would just kick my teeth in.
Yep.
But then there are people that I talk to that if they were good enough, that death for them is like, it's even better if you can compete with Juliana as a human, because they're human. Like they can try to like actually, but for me, I was never able to, you know, not never, but I usually died when I was invaded by a human. So I was like, okay, I need to just do AI, because sometimes even the AI Juliana would kill me. So it's like, okay, this is too much.
We talked about this pre-show. I'm bad at video games.
Yeah. Heroic Headgear asks, Dying Light, do we consider that an immersive sim? Because it certainly has a good bit of the elements.
It does, yeah. That is a good question. I feel like probably, right?
Let me do a quick Google search of Dying Light and see if what they categorize it as.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Because it's certain. I mean, like it has the kind of the consequence system of the world, for sure.
Yeah.
And with the world changing from day to night as well.
Yeah. And there's different ways to go about scenarios, right? Like there's stealth pathways. There's
gives
a
good bit of option for the player.
Yeah.
A quick Google search seems to say a lot of people kind of do like the immersive sim light, where like it has a lot of elements. But I don't know. I think I'm apt to count it, even though it's the kind of thing where it's like Alien Isolation, where you think because it's a horror game, it doesn't fit because it's usually not a horror genre.
Yeah.
But it kind of does. Like there's enough there that it kind of does. So I could fuck with it. I didn't love Dying Light. I liked Dying Light.
Yeah, I mean I never hit the zombie phase. Like it just doesn't really do it for me.
Yeah, I think let's add it, and then let's add Alien Isolation as well.
Yeah.
Actually, let's just put them all in a pile. I don't want to start just deciding the list per se.
Looking pretty good.
It was looking pretty good though. Let's see other ones that we should throw. I think I agree. I don't think we should add Bioshock Infinite. I think it is too actiony. I think it's there's just not enough actual like systematic stuff for me.
Yeah.
But what do you think?
No, I agree. It leans very I don't know, they don't make these anymore, but it leaned very like AA first person shooter that wasn't a military shooter. Like it was just a good action story game, first person shooter. I mean, the Skyhook was kind of neat, and I mostly enjoy what they were doing in the story in that game. But yeah, I don't necessarily think that it is a standout immersive sim.
Sirius Shard asks, does Minecraft count? I don't know. I've not played enough Minecraft to actually. I know it's a survival game. Crafting.
That feels like more simulation game to me.
Yeah. I don't have a strong enough record with Minecraft to actually be able to say pro or con, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in my 30s. I have not played Minecraft.
Sure, but you have a kid.
So he's not old enough to play Minecraft yet.
Okay.
He barely even looks at Mario Kart. Child of good taste.
Yeah. Okay. We got a Mario Kart hater on the podcast. Jeesh. Shout out Heroic Headgear with this tier 1 subscription. We love to see it. Okay. We've gone almost this entire time barely talking about Dishonored.
Yep.
I think it's time to talk about Dishonored, Phil.
That's fucking shoe in, my man.
I know, dude.
Both of them, maybe all 3 of them.
3?
Death of the Outsider.
Oh, right. I was like, wait a second. Is there a Dishonored game I didn't play?
I hope not.
Yeah. Do you prefer 1 or 2 with Dishonored?
I prefer 2.
Yeah.
But only because it's like a chocolate and peanut butter thing. Like sure. Dishonored is just that good chocolate, and then Dishonored 2 throws in some peanut butter and also 2 of the best levels ever made for video games.
Yeah. Dishonored 2 is I also prefer 2. I think there's a part of me though that also still prefers 1. And it's that like, you know, the first one type thing. Because other than BioShock, I think Dishonored 1 is the first of the genre that I played. Because also like with BioShock, as we were saying earlier, like there's some, it kind of has some of the elements. It's kind of grandfathered in, as you put it.
Yeah.
I feel like Dishonored was the first one for me that was like truly stem to stern an immersive sim. And I really felt like the consequence of things, which was, I feel like might give it a little extra push in the list for me.
Sure.
Of it being that like the first one essentially. Yeah, what a game. And like, and the heart, what was it called again?
Oh no,
what is it called? Let me find
it. I don't know. I don't remember what it's called.
Dishonored Heart.
It's not just called the heart.
It might just be called the Heart, actually.
Okay.
I thought it had more of a name than just the Heart. But this has nothing to do with the actual immersive sim elements, but just using that to be able to hear people's thoughts. Oh, so good. And like seeing all of the different ways that you can use that to your advantage. So, I mean, in a way, it kind of is consequential.
Yeah.
But, so fucking.
I mean, and Blink is still like all-timer best ability to have in a game. Just being able to like just zoop right over that way.
It's so good. They added it to Deathloop.
They sure did.
Yeah. Like, well, why would we kill that feature? Because it's so strong.
Everyone loved it.
Yeah, everyone loved it, as they should. Deus Ex. Where do you stand on Deus Ex?
So I think Deus Ex definitely the ones on my list are Human Revolution and Mankind Divided. I never played the original or Invisible War. Yeah. So I don't know how those kind of interact with this list, but I mean, I would say Mankind Divided over Human Revolution, but I love those games. Those also, I'd have to look at the actual release order, but I feel like Human Revolution came out around the same time that I played Dishonored, and was like a very similar, you know, it has your RPG elements in there, but the stuff that you are doing in that game is like impacting, you know, the narrative and having those emergent moments of, you know, going through a duct and reading some emails and then holy shit, someone jumps out at you. You got to take them down.
There's somebody, when I was kind of doing the basic research of the topic, somebody online was making the argument that one of the new Deus Ex games counts and the other doesn't, but I don't remember which one they said, because I've only played one. I've only played Human Revolution, and I didn't finish it because I didn't love it. Yeah. So for me, that one would fall pretty low on the list because I didn't even finish the game. But I did always like the part of the game where you can choose to either be completely a pacifist or not. I thought that was fun. Of like, and that was there consequence to that? Like there is in Dishonored, or that's just like a personal choice. Do you remember?
No, I think there was. I don't quite remember what it was, and I guess I don't remember if it was in Human Revolution or not. It might have been in both of them.
Human Revolution, is that the first one or the second one?
First one.
Okay, so it isn't that one because that's the one I played.
Okay. So I think that maybe the big difference between Human Revolution and Mankind Divided is that Mankind Divided allowed you to do it to bosses too.
Ah, interesting. Okay.
And I feel like that might be the big criticism of it, is like having the ability to pacify the bosses.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah, that's a
versus
bit
the other
odd.
one. Um,
And you
no,
said you like Mankind Divided more than Human Revolution,
yeah,
or
yeah.
yeah.
So Mankind Divided is the one that the opening of that game is a terrorist attack on a Prague train station that you are in the middle of as like an Interpol agent.
Oh,
Uh, and it basically just kicks off from the jump. And that game is just an absolute roller coaster
cool.
of living within this like small district in Prague, having to go on missions around the place and like deal with the politics of what's going on in that world. And I think they just really doubled down on a lot of the immersive sim stuff. Like you
Yeah.
can pacify the bosses. Like it has that level of choice that will impact stuff in the future. Um, I think that quarter of Prague ends up changing as you play through the game. So there's like ramifications of all that. Yeah, I love that game. It was a good time.
Hell yeah. Okay.
Also, Mankind
Um,
Divided up there as one of my favorite games that has really good merch. Uh, they were
ooh,
selling Adam Jensen's jacket for a
cool.
while there. You get his cool scarf.
Did you get any of the merch?
No, I didn't. I just
Uh,
remember the little insert in the Xbox 360 in the
that's
box.
funny. Yeah. Okay, only a few more to throw on the board.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I mean, Prey. We talked a little bit about it, but let me talk about Prey, Phil.
Please do.
I played this game for the first time. Again, I don't remember the exact year, but I played it on Xbox. It was around the time I first got an Xbox One. It's like, wait, what was the last one called? Not a series.
Mm-hmm.
I got the purple Fortnite one, not because of Fortnite, because purple's my favorite color.
Okay,
And
I
I
can
was like,
tell.
oh, there's yeah, right. I was like, oh, there's so many um, games that are out there for free that I have not played on Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
And I jumped into Prey pretty quickly. So I think definitely this was before Deathloop. But this would have been at least 3 years later after
Okay.
it was been released. So
Like, did you know? Like, when you said, "Hello, I would like to download this video game called Prey," were you like,
I had
"Ah, from my favorite developer,"
I
or
had
where were you
no
at?
idea.
Oh my
I
god.
knew this game existed, and I thought it had something to do with Prey 2005 or 4 or whatever it was.
Ah, yep.
And that was what I went in with. And I started up and I'm playing and I get like 2 hours into this video
Uh-huh.
game and I'm like, how has nobody told me about
Uh-huh.
Prey? And then I get like 6 hours into this video game, and like the story is going incredible places, and the mimics are out of control, and there's just so much cool shit happening. I've been chased for the first time by the giant fucking thing. I forget what it's
Yep.
called.
Yeah, the nightmare.
And I'm like, why is nobody talking about Prey? And I start going online and I'm searching about things. And I learned that apparently when it launched pretty buggy. And like there
Yep.
was a lot of performance stuff. So it's like, oh, okay. So maybe it had, like, for me, the Days Gone thing where it didn't work for a lot of people and people just wrote it off because it didn't work.
Yep.
But I think Days Gone is so fucking good. But we're not talking about Days Gone today. And so I'm just like screaming at anybody that'll listen. Like, you have to go play Prey. This
Yeah.
game should be game of the year right now, even though it came out like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's one of the few games where I love, for games that are like really, really special to me, I do love replaying. Like, for those that listen to the podcast, whether it's this or Drop It, Drop Out, I've played both the Last of Us games like 15 times. I just love it so much. I've played Mass Effect so many times. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know that I want to play Prey again, because
Uh-huh.
my first time with Prey was just so magical. I don't know if I want to fuck that up again.
Yeah. No, it totally. I Prey I have had downloaded on every device that I can download Prey onto
Yeah.
since it came out. I have it on PlayStation. I have it on Xbox. I have it on this PC. And I played it on my place. Oh no, I played it on Xbox in 2019-ish when it came out, and have not booted it up since. It is
Yeah.
always downloaded. It is
Yeah.
always ready to go.
That's so
But
funny.
same thing. Like I just it was such a perfect, immaculate time in that game, and just like I said earlier, just it is this like crazy evolution of the genre just happening right in front of you, and kind of reveals to you what these games can really be.
Yeah.
Um, And it just kind of blew me away. And which is, the bummer of all of this, part of this whole discussion that we're not talking about is that immersive sims don't sell, right? Like
Yeah.
people do not buy a lot of them. And unfortunately, Arcane Austin, the studio that made Prey, is no longer a studio. Like they shut it down last year. So another studio will have to get Prey for the third time to make one of these games. Which is a real bummer.
Which is such a bummer. And it's like with Arcane, like it's, when you look into all of the stuff behind it, it's just so disappointing because they're the same studio that went and did Redfall, right?
Yep. And Arcane Austin did Redfall,
which was just such a failure.
Yep.
And it's like, it's that, I feel like we're going to look back in like 10 years and there's going to be this era of companies that tried to do the games as a service thing and it killed them. And that just sucks. And I hope, because since then, I mean, like Deathloop was pre-Redfall and also a different arm of Arcane, right?
Yeah, that was Arcane Leon.
That's right. And they're about to do Blade, which I'm so interested to see whether
what that is.
Right. But yeah, such a bummer about Arcane Austin. But I mean, Prey. If you haven't played Prey, fucking play Prey.
Have you touched any of the Moon Crash stuff in Prey?
I haven't, and that's the thing that makes me consider wanting to actually play it more.
Yeah,
because I've not touched Moon Crash. When I played it, I believe Moon Crash DLC had already come out.
Sounds right.
But I don't think I played it for some reason. Or
do you know what it is?
That's the one that it brings in the genre, the
roguelite stuff.
Roguelike stuff, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I've definitely not touched it.
Okay. Yeah. So I haven't touched it a ton. That's also part of the thing I've been thinking about going back and playing. Moon Crash takes place on the moon. Like it is a completely different environment. There's a whole bunch of other stuff going on. And you play the roguelite mode where you basically start as one character, and as you progress through the map and kind of achieve, their story path, like the head of security did these things, like you achieve their goals, it unlocks the next character that has a different power set and a different like equipment set.
That's
cool. Pick stuff up as you go, but it all takes place in the same moon base. So you will find the bodies of those characters where they died.
That's cool.
And the knowledge of where the stuff is, like it's a simulation. So like starts over again as you go.
I think cool. I must play this actually.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Yeah.
It's very much a smaller version of Prey in a really good
cool
way. Like you get a good taste of it and then you can keep going back for it. It's neat.
But because I want people to go play Prey, I don't want to spoil it, but I do want to tip my hat to Prey. Mm-hmm. I feel like as someone who just takes in so much media, I feel like it's hard to get a twist on me.
Yeah.
And Prey got me so good.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's one of those things where like I can't help but respect it for that, where like I didn't see what was coming even like an iota. And I think that is a very cool thing about
I don't
Prey
even
too.
know how to ask which twist you're talking about. Is it is it the first one or is it the last one?
I think it's the last one. I think it's
okay.
It's been a long enough time about thinking about the story. I'm not sure the difference. I might only be thinking of one, and that's why I'm confused instead of two. But essentially, like the generalized premise, like the whole thing. That's the thing that I did not see at all.
Yeah. The twist on the twist. Yes.
Yes. Okay. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Very good.
There is that plug for the channel, but one of the first things that Logan and I did when we started doing YouTube videos, we have this project, 70% complete project called Next Level. And the entire intent of that was to go back and play through games that we refer to as like the best levels in these games of like all games. And the first one, and so far the only one that we've done in the past year, is the first hour and a half of Prey.
Amazing.
So if you want to like go see what this game is about and how it does that first twist really well, you should go watch that on our channel, because I get to talk about why I love Prey so much, and just absolutely blow my co-host's mind when you pick up the wrench and do something with it.
Yeah.
It's such a cool moment.
Yeah. Is that the first twist? Would you say that's the first twist?
Yeah,
or no?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what
Okay.
I'd say.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
That I forgot about until just this moment, and now I'm like,
Oh
okay, that got me too. That got me too.
So good.
Um,
Because you just
okay.
it doesn't tell you. You just
Yeah.
sit there and let it happen.
Yeah.
And you just gotta do it.
More
So
a lot of games can learn from Prey 2017.
Yep.
And not enough do. And not enough do.
Correct.
Last one I think that we're going to be adding is Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. And if I remember from our conversations last year, I believe you are a good bit higher on this game than me. Is that correct? Did you like this one a lot?
Yeah, I have to remember. I think it's probably number 5 or 6 on my list. I'd have to go back and look.
Look at mine.
I like this a lot, with the caveat that I made it to the jungle.
Okay. That's a pretty good amount in.
Yeah, I need to like go back and finish it. I kind of lost steam on it at that point, and some other stuff was coming out. But I liked Indiana Jones. I liked the map shenanigans, and there's a camera in that game, right? Lets you see stuff. Yeah. I liked all that.
Yeah, I liked some of it. I ended up liking it more by the end, and like I forget the bad guy's name. I thought like his performance was really, really good.
Yeah,
and
Nazi Man.
Nazi Man Steve. Not a very German name.
There's too many of those out there today.
Right. Correct. And I thought Troy Baker was great as Indy.
Yeah.
But it's also, I don't have any connection to that franchise as a child.
Okay.
For whatever reason, like the first time I watched an Indiana Jones movie was in the lead up to that video game, because I just never cared. Like as a kid, there was never a moment or somebody around me, which is surprising because I have 2 older brothers and 2 older sisters.
Mm-hmm.
And none of them were ever like, you should watch Indiana Jones. But also my siblings are weird. They were telling me to watch not huge blockbusters. They were telling me to watch like indie shit. So
sure. Okay.
But still, like I don't, there was just something about Indiana Jones. I knew it existed. It was on TNT all the time or whatever, but I just never got this like inkling that I would like it. And then I watched whatever the first one is, Temple of Doom. Is that the first one?
No, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I watched Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I was like, that was a very fun movie. And I kind of don't have any inkling to watch the rest of them. Like I enjoyed my time. I don't regret watching it at all. I thought it was a great film, but I just don't like, there's something about it that just doesn't click for me. And I had that with the video game too.
Wait, so do you like The Mummy?
I do like The Mummy. Isn't that weird?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, and not to go like down just a tangent about Indiana Jones. I think part of it, which I get in trouble for with my friends in real life, I don't really care for Harrison Ford.
Interesting. Okay.
Like he's my least favorite part of Star Wars. Not my least favorite part, but like Han Solo is
bad parts.
I mean, there's a lot of bad parts. Maybe the overt racism is my least favorite part of Star Wars. But like, whereas so many people say Han Solo is the best part of Star Wars, I wouldn't put him on like a B tier of Star Wars for me, which I know is blasphemy. And I love Star Wars. I'm a Star Wars sicko, but it's just the character just like doesn't click for me. And I think Harrison Ford might be the reason potentially.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah.
But you've not seen The Last Crusade?
I have not seen The Last Crusade. Is that the one where someone melts? Or is that Temple of Doom? Or is that Raiders of the Lost Ark? And I saw
that's Raiders.
Okay.
Well, I guess that's Raiders and also
yeah.
Last Crusade. But that's the one with Sean Connery in it.
Right. I've not seen that one.
Okay. What's your vibe on Sean Connery?
Big fan of his politics when he was alive. Just kidding. No, I was not Sean Connery. Like he's also, I would put him in the same boat as Harrison Ford, where like, I don't care to watch his Bond because for me, Pierce Brosnan is James Bond because that was my first.
Interesting.
And so the Sean Connery James Bond vibe is just so different than the Bond that I think of as Bond that I've seen a handful of them. Like I saw the first one, Dr. No. I saw a couple of the big ones,
Yeah.
Goldfinger,
From Russia with Love.
Yeah. But yeah, not really my vibe either.
Interesting. Okay. It's a really good comedic performance. Huh.
Yeah.
If
At
you're
some
going
point,
to watch another
I will
one,
watch
I would
them.
say
I don't actively avoid them. I've just, ever since watching the first one, I've never been like, I got to make time to watch the rest.
Okay.
Now, if my friends that watched it with me were like, let's go watch these movies, then I will, but it won't be my idea.
Okay.
Yeah. So all of that being said, I would put Indiana Jones on the bottom third of the list personally, but we can see where this all shakes out. Are there any other games that we want to throw on the list?
You had this in the "Is this one of these games or not?" list, and I just testing it out. How do you feel about the latest Wolfenstein game?
Yeah, the specifically the one that I saw people throw around, was it Youngblood, the Youngbloods, or was it just 2? The New Order,
New Colossus,
the New Colossus.
So New Order is the only one that I've played, and I was getting immersive sim vibes, but if it goes on here, it feels very at the bottom, if at all.
That one for me, I would put closer to the BioShock Infinite.
Yeah.
Thing. Like I would put BioShock Infinite on the list before Wolfenstein, I think.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
But I could be misguided.
No, that's fine. I mostly
wanted
to bring it up.
Yeah, I don't love the Wolfenstein franchise. I do like that you kill Nazis. That's always very fun.
That's why I played it.
But it's a bit too shooty for me.
Yep.
Control says the longer this goes on, the more I don't understand the definition of immersive sim. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm misguided, like I said. But for me, that feels like a first-person shooter to me.
Yeah, I think it is. That just as most first-person shooters have RPG elements these days, I would say Wolfenstein is an FPS with immersive sim elements. Like the stuff that you get to do with the laser gun is feels very immersive sim to me.
Sure.
I will also say the thing that we have not brought up at all in this conversation that I've been waiting to deploy, and there will be a second part of this if we need it. Almost every one of these games, as far as I know, you read some emails. And I don't know why, but reading emails feels like it's important to how you play these games. Like you read emails to, get some codes to unlock some doors.
Yeah.
You read some emails to find out where stuff is. It feels like, to Control's point, emails are immersive for sure.
Yes. Immersive.
Yes.
That was embarrassing. And like, in the case of Indiana Jones, we didn't have email then, but there's still letters with all sorts of information in them, like safe codes and things like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I think maybe let's start from the bottom and work our way up. I do think if we remove these 3 from just that, I do think that these are like definitively the bottom of the list.
Yep.
Do you have a game that you would throw out as like the next one down there?
How many do we have here?
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 games.
13. Do we want to have a clean 10?
We could have a clean 10. We could say, is there a game here that we just want to nix totally and just rank the 10? Ones that jump out to me because they kind of teeter.
Yep.
I think of Alien Isolation.
Yep.
I think of Dying Light.
Yep.
And
then I was thinking BioShock 2 or Human Revolution are also on the bubble there. But I have to put also Indiana Jones.
I will say, of all of these, Indiana Jones does feel the least. Now that you say that, I remember at one point, it was something you said in the Discord. You had mentioned something about it being an immersive sim. And that was the first time I had even thought of it as an immersive sim.
Okay.
Up until that point, I just thought of it as like, I don't know, first person action game maybe.
Yep.
But then I was like, no, I guess there are some elements to it. But I do think the kind of lack of a greater system at play of the world,
yeah,
I think informs that a bit for me.
Yeah,
Since
in a world where
yeah.
God truly correctly exists, there is no morality system. Yeah, that's fair.
So maybe we just nix Indiana Jones and keep the others.
Yeah.
For what we say is going to be the definitive top 10. Oh,
yeah,
not that layer. Games. Great.
Kill them, delete them.
Because also, we probably have the least to say about those three anyway.
Yeah.
At least two of the three. Okay, so then I think with that same thing in mind, I think these three feel strong. Maybe these four feel strong bottom of the list energy to me.
Yep. I would say almost in that order.
Yeah. Alien Isolation at the very bottom, Dying Light, BioShock, Deus Ex.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, those bottom three I don't have very much experience with. Like, sure. I'll let you speak to BioShock 2 if that feels right to you. But
yeah, I mean, so BioShock 2 and Alien Isolation, I think, have a lot of similarities for me and my criticism of them, where like they have a really strong section and the rest of the game is pretty forgettable.
It's just pretty fine.
Pretty fine. Sometimes borderline bad in the case of Alien Isolation. Like that first, if you don't know kind of the overall structure of Alien Isolation, the way that it is kind of framed is the first like third of the game is just you and the xenomorph. And then there's a point in which, I don't feel like this is spoilery, there's a point in which the like cyborg things start coming in and androids come in and they are like the threat for basically the rest of the game. Not the xenomorph still is here every now and then, but whereas the xenomorph is like constantly on your shit the first third of the game, a whole lot less the rest of the game. And once it is no longer that first third, I feel like that game falls off a cliff. And that first third is like a 9.5 out of 10. And then the rest is like a 6 at best.
It also carries on for a lot longer than it should, right? I feel like that's the big thing I hear about that game.
Really bad pacing for that game. And similarly, like I feel like with BioShock 2, it's the kind of thing where I don't think there's not like a thing that they introduce that makes BioShock bad. It's just like the writing in general is not strong. And a lot of people,
no would you kindly in BioShock 2.
Exactly. In fact, the best part of BioShock 2 is the DLC that most people didn't play.
Yeah, Minerva's Den.
Minerva's Den is so strong. So I do feel like this feels correct to me. Because I do think I still prefer BioShock 2 to Dying Light just because it's BioShock and it still has that BioShock feel to it. And even though it's weird playing as a Big Daddy, it is nice to have the drill. It is fun sometimes
it's
to have
good
the
to drill. I get it. Yeah.
Big fans of drilling here.
Yeah.
So then what do we think goes next of this top 6? Because I feel like we're probably aligned that like this feels like top 3 probably.
Yep.
So then it's like finding a space for these. I do feel like, I don't know. I feel like I can't speak to Mankind Divided because I didn't play it. So that's totally a your call where you think that fits with the 3.
I feel like being right above Human Revolution is where I'd put it.
Okay.
It's that game, but it is better in every way.
Cool.
And I mean, I don't want to shoot my shot here, but yeah.
Do you feel that vibe, or do you think Dishonored below BioShock?
The problem is that I really like Dishonored.
Here's my thinking. The reason why I think BioShock should go below Dishonored, I think, is the argument of the genre.
Yeah.
Of Dishonored just being more faithfully the genre and having the world in totality that really and BioShock has bits of it, but like with Dishonored, it really changes the whole game based on how you play it, whether you're killing people or not. Whereas BioShock, it's really just the final cutscene based on whether you're helping the little sisters or killing them or, siphoning their energy or whatever. I feel like the moment to moment leading up to that doesn't change at all in BioShock unless I'm misremembering.
No, I think you're right. Like, besides the minor resource penalty you get for letting them go, there's not like a larger world thing that changes. No, I think of BioShock and Dishonored, I am more nostalgic and look kinder on BioShock.
I agree.
But I think that this is a situation where System Shock crawled so BioShock could walk, so Dishonored could zoop around the world. Like,
Yeah, we could blink
yeah,
so that
yeah,
Dishonored
yeah,
could blink.
exactly.
Yeah, and like it's the kind of thing where if this question is the definitive immersive sim story ranking, I think BioShock is probably top 2.
It's top 2.
But as an immersive simulation video game, I think the middle of the pack feels good to me.
Yeah.
So this, I think, is where it becomes difficult for me. How do you place these top 3? But here's what I'll say. I think I do put Dishonored 2 definitively below the other 2. However, I also recognize that Dishonored 2 would be a lot of people's number 1 between these 3. That's just my personal preference. Between these 3. What do you think?
No, so to rationalize this, I think the way you have these ordered right now is probably how I would go. But we can probably debate Deathloop and Prey. My thought here though is that Dishonored 2 has like literally the 2 best levels in video games. Like A Crack in the Slab and Clockwork Mansion are like incredible, just beautiful showpieces for what an immersive sim can be. Like how all of that stuff is interconnected and how it all works. And like if you've ever watched the No Clip documentary on Dishonored 2,
I haven't. I meant to, and I always forget to.
So good. So they show that the Clockwork Mansion actually works. Like it is not like those pieces move, and there are things on the bottoms of levels. There are things on the sides of the different pieces of the mansion. It functionally works. Like it is a house that works that way. There is no like game magic that is happening. It's nuts. But that's 2 really good levels in a game that is just so much better than Dishonored, but it is not Deathloop. Like it is not like taking that and then making it replayable and then making it replayable in a like rewarding, useful way. And then the thing with Prey is that that's an open world game. Like that, you just at some point it turns into a Metroidvania and you are going back and forth between all of these different places in the level. And I think that making the immersive sim elements work in a way that is incredible from hour 1 to hour 30, being able to traverse that whole place is like revolutionary. Like it is like incredible.
I feel like Prey, it's one of those games where like people say this sometimes with whether it's like movies or games or books or whatever, where like the world feels like a character.
Yeah.
And I feel like Prey is a really good example of that, where the space station in Prey really does feel like a character. And part of it is that whole like, you know, you have the emails, you have the audio logs, like that kind of thing. So like, which like, sure, but there's just something more to it, like with the design of it and the way, like to your point of like, it has that Metroidvania-ish feel to it where you're going back and forth, but you don't necessarily have to for like, you don't like get a thing and all of a sudden this whole wing opens up per se.
Yeah.
It's not a Metroidvania, but it does have that feeling where you're ping ponging all over the place.
Yeah.
And it's the kind of thing where I think, similar to Deathloop, it's designed so well that even the 76th time you're in Office X, you find something new. And I think that is, for me, like Jake says in the chat, these guys with Deathloop at 2, like it's not going to get yanked up to 1 in 5 minutes. I don't know. I think I might be happy with Prey at number 1. And I think part of it is that it just does everything so well. Whereas like earlier we were saying with Deathloop, sometimes it holds your hand a little too much for the sake of the game, where like if it didn't have that timeline, a lot of people would be so fucked playing that game if you had to piece all of that together. And so, you know, it just is a circumstance of the structure of the game that it needed that. Prey doesn't have something like that where it needs to kind of hold your hand, but there's something about, and also kind of the mashup of genres where with this, it's Prey, I think of the list now is like the second scariest game on this list, where like it teeters a little bit into horror. There's like some body horror stuff and like that kind of thing, but like there are parts of that game that are legitimately terrifying. And I think you could make a case for Prey being a horror game as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's really fun, where like it does a whole lot of stuff, and it does all of it really, really fucking well.
It's really, really good.
Yeah.
I would say I don't think Deathloop is moving up.
Yeah.
Deathloop it's an incredibly tight game that is stylish as hell. Like I I'm really torn on which of these two games I like to look at better.
I do like to look at Deathloop better, definitively.
Like I like the look of Deathloop, and I would like to live in Deathloop.
Yeah.
But the Neo Deco style in Prey is like a sight to behold.
Sure.
The thing that I will say though is that Deathloop is tight, and it is like replayable, and it is fun, and it is like tuned like a first person shooter. Prey is not very fun to play as a first person shooter. Like the shooting isn't super great, but it gives you so many other tools that are like worth exploring. Like the power system in Prey is incredible. And to your point about it being a horror game, you can be playing that game for 30 goddamn hours, and a fucking coffee cup turns into a giant black monster and jumps in your face, and it'll make you jump every goddamn time.
Correct.
No,
Yeah, I'm happy with this list.
Yeah, it is. This is a good list. I feel good about this list. We should revisit this in a bit.
Ooh, yeah.
Because I do want to play Thief. I do want to try System Shock now that 1 and 2 have like remakes out.
Yeah.
But I
think I might give System Shock one more shake, but I was getting very frustrated yesterday with just how old it felt, even in the remake. And so I don't know.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah. But so for our audio listeners, we have Prey at number 1, Deathloop at number 2, Dishonored 2 at number 3, Dishonored 1 at number 4, BioShock at 5, Deus Ex Mankind Divided at 6, Human Revolution at 7, BioShock 2 at 8, Dying Light at 9, and Alien Isolation at 10. I think this is the definitive immersive sim ranking list.
I feel pretty good about this list. Can I just gush about Prey one more time?
Yeah, I would never stop you.
One tiny mechanic that I don't think it in the list of game things that you can do in Prey. No one tells you about the Nerf gun.
Sure.
No one says, hey, there's a Nerf gun in this game.
I agree.
Because that's not exciting. You can turn yourself into a coffee cup or a chair. That's a neat power to have. But no one says, hey, there's a Nerf gun. Let me tell you, friends, you get that Nerf gun and you pick up those Nerf darts. And you know what you can do with those Nerf darts? You can shoot them at computer screens that are designed to have very giant buttons on them, so you can open security doors through broken windows. Who thinks of that?
I forgot about that mechanic. It is very satisfying.
It's so smart. Just a bunch of nerds in the lab got together to make a Nerf gun when they were playing their D&D game, which you can find throughout the game.
You know what else actually that we didn't talk about Prey that I really like is it does the like 0G really well.
Yes.
In the bits of that game where you either like go out of the station or like you're in rooms that are like compromised or whatever. It's one of the few games to me where I didn't want to bang my head against the wall with how like stupid 0G felt. It doesn't like feel vastly different than other games that do it, but there's just something about it that I never fought with the game in 0G. And I think that is also an achievement.
Yeah, it's also one of those cool things where I feel like 0G was not a thing you were doing with physics objects in 2017.
Sure.
It was very rare to have physics simulation at a level where you could like, I mean, there's an entire level of that game that there's a 0G tunnel that runs from the top to the bottom. And that is how you get from the top to the bottom of the station. And there's just shit in there that you can bounce into. It's so good. You shoot a grenade called the recycler, and it turns things into little cubes that you can.
Oh, it's so good.
So good.
I think I might have to go play Prey again, actually, even though I said I didn't want to.
Go play Moon Crash.
Oh, absolutely. I am downloading it the second we were off this podcast because I forgot that was a thing. Phil, what a lovely time. We went a little longer than I said we would, but I loved the conversation. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, absolutely.
One last plug for the people at home where they can find your things.
Yeah. Go to 70percentcomplete.com. You will find all of the links there to the YouTube channel, the Twitch that we stream from every 6 months, videos, articles, podcasts. It's all there.
Hell yeah. Jake in the chat. I hate M-Sims, but this was an excellent podcast, I fear. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks.
We will be back next week with probably actual gaming news. We had a few stories we could have talked about, but maybe we'll talk about those next week.
It wasn't a big news week.
It wasn't a big news week. Phil, again, thanks for being here. I fear that this will not be the last time that you're on the Spotlight Games podcast, if you'll come back.
Of course.
But until then, we will see you next time. Have a good night. Bye-bye.